Gilles de Rais was a celebrated knight, a companion to Joan of Arc, and one of the wealthiest men in France. But behind the grandeur and military glory was a much darker story, one that ended in a trial for the murder of more than 100 children. This is the true account of Gilles de Rais, a man revered as a war hero who ultimately became one of history's first known serial killers. Gilles de Rais was born in 1405 to a noble family in western France. He inherited vast estates and wealth after the early deaths of both his parents. Raised by his maternal grandfather, Gilles was given a classic aristocratic education. He learned Latin, military tactics, and the responsibilities of managing land and people. By his early 20s, Gilles had gained national fame as a commander during the 100 Years' War. Most notably, he fought alongside Joan of Arc and was appointed Marshal of France for his service, a rare and prestigious title. After Joan of Arc's execution in 1431, Gilles de Rais withdrew from military life and turned inward. He began to spend recklessly, financing elaborate theatrical productions and renovations of his many castles. At the same time, disturbing rumors began to circulate. Peasants living near his estate spoke of children who had gone missing, often after being seen approaching the castle, sometimes enticed by servants with promises of food, work, or education. The disappearances continued for nearly a decade. The victims were primarily young boys, aged between 6 and 18. Most came from poor families. The disappearances followed a pattern. They would be lured to one of Gilles' castles and never seen again. Witnesses later described horrific scenes. Victims were reportedly abused, tortured, and killed in ritualistic or sadistic manners. Some were allegedly dismembered, others burned in large fireplaces. These acts were not isolated incidents, but repeated over the course of several years. During this period, Gilles also became heavily involved in occult practices. He employed alchemists and self-proclaimed magicians in an attempt to regain lost wealth and achieve spiritual power. According to later testimonies, he believed that invoking demonic forces, and even performing human sacrifices, could bring him fortune and control. These practices deeply disturbed his household staff and local clergy, but few dared to confront him due to his power and influence. Gilles de Rais' eventual downfall came not directly from the child murders, but from a political conflict. In 1440, during a dispute over land, he kidnapped a cleric, an action that drew the attention of the Bishop of Nantes and the church. This prompted a full investigation. Witnesses were summoned. Testimonies accumulated rapidly. Over 150 people, former servants, parents of missing children, and members of the church, provided disturbing, consistent accounts. Gilles de Rais was formally charged with heresy, sodomy, and the murder of children. His trial, conducted by both secular and ecclesiastical courts, was one of the most publicized legal events of the 15th century. He confessed to the crimes in horrifying detail, reportedly breaking down and asking for forgiveness. Though some speculate his confession may have been coerced, the overwhelming volume of evidence and eyewitness accounts strongly supported the charges. On October 26, 1440, Gilles de Rais was executed by hanging and his body was burned. His remains were partially recovered by his family and buried in a local church. In the centuries since, his story has inspired both historical analysis and folklore. Some have even claimed that Gilles was the inspiration behind the fairy tale character, Bluebeard, a wealthy man who kills his wives and hides their bodies in a locked chamber. Today, Gilles de Rais is remembered as one of the earliest recorded serial killers in European history. His story serves as a chilling reminder that wealth and status do not preclude the capacity for cruelty. Whether driven by trauma, obsession, or mental illness, Gilles de Rais left a legacy defined not by heroism, but by horror. If you found this historical case insightful, subscribe for more deep dives into true crime across time. We explore stories where history and human psychology collide, right here on Darkest Deeds in History.